The problem with Bola Tinubu is that he thinks I'm the one that offended him. I didn't offend him, he offended me.
What did you do to him?
No, it's not for television, that one. But he offended me. And he's full of himself, and he thinks that because he's now so-called president.
Is he so-called or he's the president?
So-called.
That's the president of the Federal Republic.
I believe he didn't win the election.
What makes you think so? Because you supported Peter Obi?
Yes.
So that's why you think.
The results available to us at that time believe he didn't win the election.
But the court says otherwise.
The court, of course, you know who they are.
The court stands for justice.
Yeah, the court stands for justice in court.
So you don't believe in the courts?
I believe in the courts. What can you do? They are there. They are supposed to do their duties. They are doing their duties. It's not about believing.
So if you don't believe Bola Tinubu won the election, the court in the first, the results at the poll says he won. The court in the first instance says he won. Yes. The court in the second instance says he won.
Yes, but the facts on the ground said he didn't win.
Who now won? Atiku?
Peter Obi won that election.
That came third?
According to the result that was announced. Not according to the true results.
Who actually won the 2023 presidential election and who was announced? And with the way the guest answered this question in this interview, you understand that we are so helpless with what is going on presently in the country. And I'll prove it to you. Now, first of all, he called him so-called president, which now shocks him and prompted him to ask him more questions. He asked him, so you don't believe that he won the election? He said he don't believe that because the fact on ground said otherwise. Now, Shehu persisted by telling him that the court said he won. He said, of course, the court said he won, but they know who they are. And I was like, but trust him. He keep pushing further. Now, he told him that the court stand for justice. He said, yes, they stand for justice. But in quote, Shehu in his mind was like, Nehi. It be like, see, he gave within this man, never tell us. He keep pushing further again. He now asked him, so you don't believe in the court? He said, he believe in the court. What can they do? That the court are supposed to do. In fact, the man have to stammer. That is to tell you how helpless we are in this country. In fact, listen to this part again.
So you don't believe in the courts?
I believe in the courts. What can you do? They are there. They are supposed to do their duties. They are doing their duties. It's not about.
You get the point? Now, this is another serious exposure on the irregularities that happened during the 2023 election. And this particular one is not coming from a southeasterner. It's coming from a northerner. Before you begin to say, this one is coming from his brother and all that. And this is another level to tell you how helpless we are in this country presently. And that is why for the upcoming 2027 general election, people are seriously calling for electoral reforms, because that is the only thing that can bring acceptance, sincerity, and trustworthy in our electoral system, to make sure that as we are voting, it is counting immediately. Because without that, I don't think we can get it right anywhere in this country. But of course, this video never finish. I will allow you to listen to more of this interview and also listen to where Nigerians, where they are calling for serious and strong electoral reforms to make our election more perfect and more better for the citizens to actually elect who they want, come anytime, any day. But of course, as you are listening to these videos, make sure you are sharing your thought with me on the comment section. Share the video and also subscribe in case if you have never done so for more updates. And after that, I'll be back. Let's go there.
So, how do you determine who won an election?
We have the data now. Look, we had monitors on the field. We had agents on the field. We collected our data. We know our results. We know the results that are coming in from the field. We can see clearly the point at which they were altered. We can see clearly, you know.
Was he altered in Anambra? Was he altered in Abia? Was he altered in Enugu? Peter Obi won landslide. He won over 90% of the votes in that region.
Yes.
He beat Bola Tinubu in Lagos.
Yes.
He had huge votes in the North Central.
It doesn't mean there are no states where election was conducted. There are. You know, when you do rigging, you rig only where you are strong. And because...
Is Peter Obi strong in Lagos? That is Bola Tinubu's state.
Yes.
As a politician, you know what it means when you lose your home top.
I know what it means. They didn't understand the demography of Lagos very well at that time.
So it was a shocker.
It was a shocker. They underplayed the demography of Lagos. And it shocked them. And the demography showed. Subsequent elections, they worked on that demographic issue. That's why there was voter suppression. in the gubernatorial election, and in this last election, local government. The demography took them by surprise.
Would you still be supporting Peter Obi in 2027?
I think they say a day in politics is long. Things have changed. The parameters that we were used to evaluate our candidate in 2023 is going to be different from this one. Things have moved on, so we'll see when we get there.
Your Excellency, the former governor of Anambra State and Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. Your Excellency, sir, your attention is kindly needed because I believe that this is important. I beg una, if you see this video, make una help me tag His Excellency. Your Excellency, sir, you contested the 2019 presidential election as running mate to the PDP standard bearer, and in 2023 you contested as a presidential candidate under the Labour Party. And in both cases, you ended up in court because you disagreed with the outcomes of the processes. You believed that there were irregularities and the process was not credible or did not reflect the true will of a majority of Nigerians. And now you are preparing for the 2027 presidential elections. Your Excellency, that is why I have to call your attention to this, because we need your voice and support. If you truly believe, sir, that the difference between the Nigeria that is today and the Nigeria that should have been, or the Nigeria that should have been in the process of becoming, was INEC and the electoral process, Your Excellency, why are you not paying attention or putting a spotlight on INEC and that agency? If truly we believe that it was INEC that shortchanged the will of Nigerians, a majority of Nigerians, through irregularities or criminalities that took place in that agency, why are we not talking about the reformations that should go on in preparation and ahead of the 2027 presidential or general elections? Because, Your Excellency, shey na so una come trust INEC reach, abi get the guarantee where you get about INEC where we no know, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, if we say that the people who will refuse to count votes in 2027, let us count them. The power and energy we want to use to count them in 2027, why can we not bring that power or energy now, mount pressure on the National Assembly and get the reforms that we need, and then prepare to still protect our votes in 2027? Why are we postponing our fight when we can see clearly that those who are destroying this country are not pretending about their strategy for 2027? The current ruling party knows, and it is obvious, that there is no path to re-election for them except through INEC and the judiciary. They know it and they are not pretending about it. That is why all the calisthenics going on in INEC is currently going on. So why should those of us who mean well for the country be pretending about what we need to do to fix Nigeria before 2027? In the National Assembly today, we have opposition lawmakers who ran on the popularities of some of you who were at the top of the tickets. Nigerians voted for them believing that they would be agents of change. But they went into the parliament and have conformed and become worse than the status quo that they met there. For more than 2 years, not one opposition lawmaker, whether Labour or PDP, has had the courage to be able to even sponsor a bill that talks about mandatory electronic transmission of results, to at least protect the electoral process legally from judicial technicalities while we begin to talk about protecting of the votes. Your Excellency, how can we continue in this kind of process? Because for me, Your Excellency, 2027, we have to get it right. 2027, I don't want to be involved in another wise goose chase and then see, Your Excellency, I take God beg you. I have been on this internet for months. We are screaming out my lungs about the electoral reform. Now, only person know the thing where your eye don't see. I don't lose weight. I don't enter depression. I don't come out. Only everybody know how they go waka for this Nigeria. Your Excellency, 2027, Your Excellency, 2027, I take God beg you. This issue of INEC and electoral reform, because everybody kept quiet, the INEC chairman who oversaw the criminality that took place in 2023 is still parading himself as an unbiased electoral umpire, trying to make prisoners and every other policy where he will approve, but not going towards mandatory electronic transmission of results. Even though he will leave office before 2027, there are already plans to replace him with someone who will be worse than him. We take God beg you, Your Excellency. Nigerian youth, we are waiting to hear your opinion. The strength of our democracy is not in coalition. It is in free, fair, and credible elections. It is in the strength of our institutions, beginning with the electoral system. That is the recruitment process for Nigerian leaders. And I know that you share this sentiment. So if you know that recruitment process is very important, Your Excellency, why they talk about that recruitment process to be reformed and to be fixed? Your Excellency, I take God beg you. I take God because the one where we did so now, me, now my last energy, Now the last, Your Excellency, allow God to use you. There can be no democracy without free and fair elections. May God, please, we are waiting to hear from you. Nigerians want to hear from you and your opinion about sanitizing the electoral process ahead of 2027.
You get the point. Now, what do you think? If we fail to get it right, direct from polling unit, that is, as we are voting, the vote will be counting ASAP and everybody will be seeing it. That is, if there is strong and sincere electoral reforms. Now, if we fail to get it right from there and we allow them to already announce whoever they want to announce, do you think we can actually redeem it back to the way it's supposed to be anywhere in this country again? Just like what happened in 2023 election. In fact, share your thought with me on the comment section. And of course, you know the vibe. Click on that subscribe button, follow, and share for more updates. Because like this,